UFC Seattle prediction. Song versus Cejudo. And we're just going to put it up right away. We are right now at Song's fight camp. Song's putting in some work. And we got the beautiful Pam Anderson. Pam Anderson somehow made her way here. I mean, nobody invited her. She just showed up. Who's going to say no to Pam Anderson? Pam Anderson is your ring girl. Showing us round 5. Dana White, you need to get Pamela Anderson as a ring girl. At least for one time. I mean, why not? Come on, Dana White. Alright, so we're here at the Song camp. He's getting some work in. Pam, you're gonna have to get out of the shot, Pam. Thank you very much, Pam. So far, you got Song in blue, you got Mickey Gall, in the ring right now, putting some work in with Song. You got Andrew Glenn, and also Joe Rogan's been in there. Jon Anik has been in there. You got DC's been in there. So Song's getting his workout in. And Mickey Gall just put in a good round 4. And DC has asked for things to mix up a little bit. He wants to bring in a ring announcer. So we don't have, what's the ring announcer's name? Oh yeah, Bruce Buffer. We don't have the Bruce Buffer. So we got, in the car of Andrew Glenn in the parking lot, we got Dan Miragliotta. He's going to come in and be a ring bearer. He's going to step into the ring. Listen here, Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, I don't step into the ring. I step onto the ring. I am Dan Miragliotta. So... So Dan Miragliotta is having some trouble. Anyways, Dan Miragliotta is the only guy in the T-Mobile Arena that could be in the ring, referee in the fight, and cleaning the ceiling at the same time. Dan Miragliotta. I mean, right now, I feel like he could just reach up and grab a plane like he's King Kong or something and snatch it down. Dan Miragliotta's the only guy I know that can ref a fight and reach up and snatch a satellite out of the sky. I mean, he's more Lurch than Lurch from Adam's Family. Dan Miragliotta. Alright. What do you got, Dan Miragliotta? Hold on a second. Andrew Glenn's getting a little bit upset. He's getting upstaged by the big Dan Miragliotta. The guy that put in 400 fights and wasn't even regulated. I mean, he wasn't even licensed. Who's going to argue with the big Lurch guy? Anyways. DC wants to mix things up, so DC says, hey, why don't we get Mickey Gall out of there? We got Henry Cejudo over here in the baby carriage. So that's what we'll do. We'll get Mickey Gall out of there. Nice talking to you, Mickey Gall. I don't know if we'll talk to you ever again. And then in comes Henry Cejudo up over the top rope. So round 5, we're going to have Henry Cejudo fight Song. We got Andrew Glenn, Joe Rogan, Jon Anik, DC, and Big Dan Miragliotta is going to reach up and grab an airplane out of the sky he's King Kong. I don't even know, sometimes when the weather gets rough, big damn Miragliotta can't even see down through the clouds to referee the fight. You can't see it from the other camera, but over here you got Dana White calculating how much money he's going to make. Over here he's calculating the odds over here. I'm the one-armed bandit. Joe Rogan. I'm Sean losing Ben O'Malley. He's missing from social media. Okay, so to start over again. Alright, let's do this for real. Okay. UFC Seattle is going to be a fight that you won't want to miss. You're going to have Song Yadong against Cejudo. I forgot his name. Henry, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, UFC Seattle is proven to be one of the best cards of the year. Right now we are in town watching Song Yadong putting in some work for his camp. Let me start over again. I hate this. I hate that. I mean, I'm not an announcer. I don't understand. I don't know what to do. One thing we're going to do is cut things out. You want your fight prediction for UFC Seattle. Here it is. Putting in the work right now, you have Song Yadong against Gall. Putting the work in earlier, he had Joe Rogan in there. He had Jon Anik. He had DC. In the ring right now, refereeing, you have Andrew Glenn. And it is round 5. And we're going to have round 6. And coming out of the ring is Gall. There he is, out of the ring. And believe it or not, stepping in the ring, we have a Henry Cejudo lookalike. That sticks to my finger. This just isn't working out. It's just not working. It's not flowing right. It's like my fight at UFC 300. And then I forgot about Schmitty at the party. I was dealing with the loss. You know, losing my belt and everything, and I got a 31-year-old Schmitty over here. Who produces this show? Who produces this show? I want this guy on the show. I want this guy on my show. Who produces this show? I mean, look at this. This is a high production here. This is what I want on my show. Hey, Tim Welch. Hey, let's get this producer on our show. Get rid of Schmitty. I mean, he cries about it. He wants to go to the party. We let you do all the work, and then you want to come and party? I mean, you got to get back and develop some film. Hey, let's start over again. Let's get the Henry Cejudo back. We got to put Gall back in. No one camera can pick this up, and the other one can't. Alright, hold on a second. Let's start this over again. UFC Seattle. Your prediction with Song Yadong versus Henry Cejudo. This is what you want to tell everybody. This is what you want to bet. You got Dayong right over here right now getting ready to place the bet. Trust me, this much. I'm Sean. Where is he at? O'Malley. Missing from social media, right? He's looking for a new Schmitty, and I think he found him right here, producing this show. Okay, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, UFC Seattle, you want to put all your money down on Song. Cejudo, man's done. He forgot he retired. How about that? I mean, he retired for a reason. You know why he retired? Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, UFC Seattle is going to prove to be one of the best cards of the year thus far. Your ring girl, right here, Pamela Anderson, letting you know it's round 5. We've already had a couple sparring partners for Song in here. Song's in blue. You had sparring partners, you had Rogan, Jon Anik, and DC so far. And then your referee, Andrew Glenn. So we're calling for somebody to come in to be the ring announcer. Nobody else here. Except in the back room, we got Dan Miragliotta getting ready to walk in here and step into the ring. Here comes Dan Miragliotta, like this. Oh, Dan's got something to say. What'd you say? Dan says he doesn't step into the ring, he steps onto the ring. Dan Miragliotta doesn't step into the ring. Dan Miragliotta steps onto the ring. So here you, Dan Miragliotta stepped onto the ring and not into the ring. Because Dan Miragliotta is a big, lurch, freaking looking dude. Dan Miragliotta is the only guy I know at T-Mobile that could be refereeing a fight and cleaning the ceiling at the same time. Dan Miragliotta, at any moment, you think Dan Miragliotta could be refereeing a fight and at any moment reach up and grab an airplane out of the sky like he's King Kong. Dan Miragliotta is the only guy I know that could be refereeing a fight and at the same time can reach up and snatch a satellite out of the sky. That's Dan Miragliotta for you. Okay, so Dan Miragliotta is going to be our ring announcer. Take it away, Big Dan. Let me tell you a couple stories about Dan. Dan, if you ever ask Dan to go out and get pizza, you know, like after the fights or anything, if you ever ask Dan Miragliotta to go out and get pizza after the fight, he's going to say that you didn't show up. But Dan Miragliotta shows up to dinner 3-4 hours early. And then he's perturbed and he leaves. And he goes around telling everybody that you didn't show up to this pizza dinner. And you go around telling everybody that you didn't show up. Well, Dan Miragliotta shows up 3-4 hours ahead of time. You know why? Because when he's out there standing on the ring, the altitude is too high. He gets dizzy. Wherever he walks, I don't care if he's in Denver, I don't care where he's at. The dude's dizzy walking around. He's lightheaded. Song's final opponent today, getting the work in before UFC Seattle. His final opponent is we flew in not just anybody for Song to spar against and get that work in, and get that fight camp in, and get it to where he could beat Henry Cejudo. What he did was he flew in Henry Cejudo himself, so we're going to exit Mickey Gall, and then his final sparring partner before Cejudo is going to be Henry Cejudo himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo up and over the top rope. Henry Cejudo secures his spot in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, I take it that we have Song vs. Cejudo, says Big Dan Miragliotta as the clouds rush past his jacket. Okay. Let's start over again. It's just not flowing. It won't flow. It just won't flow. Why won't it flow? This is unbelievable. Alright, let's start over again. Alright, hopefully we'll get it this time. Ladies and gentlemen, UFC Seattle brings us together no other than Song and Cejudo. Now, if I were you, I would put your money down on Song. Cejudo just doesn't remember that he retired. I mean, he retired for a reason. He's proven already why he's already retired, but yet he wants to prove again why he should be retired. Okay, here we go. UFC Seattle. Dayong against Cejudo. Put your money on Song. So, Song's putting in some work against Mickey Gall. We got round 5 coming up. We got the beautiful Pam Anderson. One camera can't see it, but over here you got Dana White getting ready, figuring up how much money he's going to make for this fight in Seattle. Can't wait to get back to Vegas to get on the one-armed bandit. And what you have here is Song and Mickey Gall. In the ring refereeing, you got Andrew Glenn. You got Joe Rogan right here, Jon Anik, and DC. DC's already been in there against Song, putting some work in for the man. Jon Anik was in there, rolling some tires around in there. Joe Rogan was in there, and basically not paying attention to anybody, any common fan. Talks about how he meets people and everything. I watch his program all the time. I go into the Apex, and I go into the T-Mobile, I go into a lot of these places, and I see DC, and he's nice, and I see Jon Anik, and he's nice, and I see Miragliotta, I haven't introduced him yet, and I see Andrew Glenn, and I see Mickey Gall, and I see Song, and I see Pam Anderson, wherever, somewhere else. I see Dana White. I see all these people. You know one person you don't see? One person, all these people here. You know the one person that you don't see anywhere mixing it up with people is that freaking Joe Rogan. The guy can't stop by the common area. And I'm not even talking common area. I'm still talking about stuff that's gated off. He talks about all these people that he talks to, and yeah, you know, common people on the street. You learn a lot from common people on the street. That dude don't meet nobody. He can't even come into the media room and answer a question or anything. Anything. Never see that guy. You see DC, you see Jon Anik, you see Mickey Gall, you see Big Dan, you see Song, you see Andrew Glenn, you see Dana White. You don't see Pam Anderson. But one person you never see is this Joe Rogan clown right here. Joe Rogan, why don't you go out and meet somebody? Why don't you walk into the media area? I'm sure they're going to want to talk to you. Why can't you go in there, man? Why can't you mix it up? Why don't you come on my show? Oh yeah, you never hear about anybody calling you out because you don't pay attention to anything but yourself. That's what you say. Yet, you know a lot about a lot of people. So, you're only concerned. And you even said it, those people on Fear Factor and everything. You're like, yeah, you know, I deal with these people. The common people. You only rub elbows with who you think is this, that, and everything like that. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, you could scratch my nuts. Okay? Now I'm getting somewhere. Listen to you people out there in UFC land. You might want to give DC a little bit of a hard time. That dude's a nice dude. Okay? He's telling me a story about how he's never on his back. Yeah, he got put on his back a couple times, but one thing he doesn't lay on his back, he doesn't sleep on his back. I don't know. He won't even lay down and look at the sky on his back. You can't relax on his back. He will not be on his back. Okay? DC is a great dude. This big damn Miragliotta guy is a great guy and everything, but don't let him tell you when you ask him to go to a pizza date, and, you know, and he shows up 3-4 hours early, and he goes around telling everybody that, you know, you didn't show up to the pizza date, but yet he was 3-4 hours early. But, I mean, Big Dan Miragliotta is a great guy. Jon Anik's a great guy. Mickey Gall's a great guy. Song's a great guy. Andrew Glenn, nice guy. Pamela Anderson, great girl. Dana White, great guy. I don't care what people say, Dana White's a great guy. This Joe Rogan clown here, people forget, man. No, people don't forget. I don't forget Joe Rogan. I'm walking around the Apex, I'm walking around T-Mobile, and I'm talking about the security areas. You stick in that one little tiny area where you're at. And then you guys, these three guys right here, talk and talk and talk as they usher people out of the arena. So these clowns right here basically don't interact, you know, with the crowd because the crowd gets pushed out as they're sitting there around the cage. Yeah, you'll see DC will come and hang out with the people. Jon Anik will hang out with the people. Dana White will hang out with the people. Dan Miragliotta will hang out with the people. Andrew Glenn will hang out with the people. Song will hang out with the people. Mickey Gall will hang out with the people. But guess what Joe Rogan will hang out with? Who knows? Not us. Joe Rogan thinks he's above everybody. Mix it up with the common people, Joe Rogan. I started this live post, this live stream to talk about Dan Miragliotta, okay? And I'm getting off on Joe Rogan, okay? So I know people, right? Okay, so I know all these guys, right? So let's go over again. I know DC. DC is a great guy. Jon Anik, great dude. And then, that's Joe Rogan. And then Mickey Gall's a great guy. Song's a great guy. Andrew Glenn's a great guy. Dan Miragliotta's great. Pamela Anderson's great. Dana White's great. Back to this guy, Joe Rogan. I don't know anything about Joe Rogan. You know why I don't know anything about Joe Rogan? Because Joe Rogan doesn't associate, even within the arena of the backstage area, he doesn't associate with anybody. He's too good. Joe Rogan is too high and mighty, even over Dana White. Dana White walks around with a security guard. Okay, the security guard's got like 18 guns on him and a rocket launcher and all kinds of things like that. He doesn't have that around the UFC, but when he goes out and about, like backstage at concerts and stuff like that, I've seen him backstage quite a few times, and he's got this guard with him. It's crazy. But Dana White gets out there and talks to people. This guy, Joe Rogan, doesn't talk to anybody. Hey, why don't you have me on your show, Joe Rogan? And tell me how you are a man of the people. And you talk to people, and you get this and that from people. You don't get shit from people, because you don't talk to nobody. Why don't you go into the media area and sit down and get interviewed one time? I've been going in there for years, it could be decades, and I never see you. Back to what I was doing, I'm trying to get in Dan Miragliotta, but I can't get off the Joe Rogan character. People make fun of DC, Joe Rogan's it. UFC Seattle, I will put your money on Song and not Cejudo. That's it. There's your prediction from Song and Feck, 1 foot cock. UFC Seattle, put your money on Song and not Cejudo. Song and Feck, 1 foot cock. You heard me. UFC Seattle, put your money on Song. Don't put your money on Cejudo. Song and Feck, 1 foot cock. Okay, so I'm dressed up as Sean O'Malley, right? So you got UFC Seattle, you got Song versus Cejudo. Take Song. There's your prediction. Song and Feck, 1 foot cock. Let's go around the room right here. You got Dana White getting ready to put his bid in. You got Pamela Anderson telling you it's round 5. You got Song putting some work in before the Cejudo fight. You got Mickey Gall putting in work for Song. Andrew Glenn in. Somehow, Dan Miragliotta comes in as the ring announcer. I think he wants to be a ring announcer. I mean, at any minute, when you see Dan Miragliotta in the ring, you think that any moment he can reach up and grab an airplane, like he's King Kong or something. I mean, Dan Miragliotta is the only referee I know that can be reffing a fight at the T-Mobile and reach up and clean the ceiling at the same time. Dan Miragliotta can referee a fight and reach up and snatch a satellite out of the sky. Dan Miragliotta can referee a fight and reach up and grab a drone out of the sky. He could... Dan Miragliotta, at any moment when he's reffing a fight, you think he would just reach out and grab an airplane out of the sky like he's King Kong or something. Okay, so anyway, so you got Dan Miragliotta, you got Jon Anik, Joe Rogan, DC, Mickey Gall putting in some work in for Song. You got Song in blue, Andrew Glenn, Pamela Anderson, and what's his name? Dana White. So what we're going to do here for round 5, we are going to take Mickey Gall out, just to get in some good work for Song, and then after taking Mickey Gall out, we're going to replace him with Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo is going to be round 5, putting in some work for Song. This is his fight camp. So Song went ahead because we heard that Cejudo is hard up for some cash or something. I don't know if it's true or not. But Song flew Cejudo in to get some work in for his Cejudo fight. So Song and Henry Cejudo here about ready to take on round 5, looking on DC put in round 1, Jon Anik round 2, Joe Rogan round 3, and Dana White is round 4 with Mickey Gall. Ladies and gentlemen, Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. Ladies and gentlemen, UFC Seattle Henry Cejudo, Song Yadong. Looking on with your commentators, you got DC, you got Jon Anik, you got Joe Rogan. Ring announcer, you have Big Dan Miragliotta is going to reach up out of the sky and grab an airplane like he's King Kong or something. Round 5, your ring girl right here is none other than Pamela Anderson, Miss Baywatch, over here gambling, not paying attention to what's going on over here, but he's making more money for the UFC over here gambling. Ladies and gentlemen, Dana White. And I'm Sean, where's he at, O'Malley? Because I'm missing from social media. Who's the producer of this show over here, the Simon Feck show? Yeah, because we're going to get rid of Schmitty because he cried about being at the party. And, yeah, and he's in Texas and he was downstairs and he had to wait in line. And we need to get your producer. It just won't flow. UFC Seattle, you have Henry Cejudo against Song Yadong. Right here, put your money on Song and not Cejudo. That's it. That's your tip for today. Song Feck, 1 foot cock. Right now, we have Song putting in some work. Round 5, earlier we had Joe Rogan, Jon Anik, and DC in there putting some work in for Song for the Henry Cejudo fight. But right now, you have Mickey Gall in the ring at the end of round 4. Right here, you got your ring girl, Pamela Anderson, telling you it's getting ready to be round 5. Dana White's over here, doing some gambling. Okay, so that's that. And right now, for some reason, we're going to have the ring announcer come in at round 5. And Bruce Buffer is not to be seen, so we got out in the parking lot. We found this guy walking around. His name is Dan Miragliotta. He's going to step into the ring. Wait a minute, he's coming back. He's coming back to me. He's going to say something to me. What? Oh, Dan Miragliotta says he doesn't step into the ring. He steps onto the ring. Big Dan Miragliotta steps onto the ring. Big Dan Miragliotta. He's the only guy I know when he's roughing. Big Dan Miragliotta's the only guy I know when he's roughing a fight. He can reach up at the same time and clean the ceiling there at the T-Mobile. Dan Miragliotta's the only guy I know. Dan Miragliotta's the only guy I know that can referee a fight, and it looks like he's at any moment can reach up in the sky and grab an airplane out like he's King Kong or something. Dan Miragliotta is the only guy in there that can referee a fight and at the same time reach up and grab a satellite out of the sky. Dan Miragliotta is the only guy I know that can be refereeing a fight and reach up and grab a drone out of the sky. Alright, so here we got the end of round 4. We got Pamela Anderson walking around, showing everybody that it's round 5. We're going to take Gall out. And believe it or not, to put the work in for Song, we recruited Henry Cejudo. Here he is, Henry Cejudo, getting ready to put some work in for Song. I don't know what it is. I've tried it many times and it just doesn't seem like it's working, baby. See what I'm saying? It just doesn't seem like it's working. Let's try it again. For the 9th time. I'm Sean, where have I been from social media, O'Malley. I'm here to tell you that we are at the fight camp of Song. Song's putting the work in for UFC Seattle, and I'm just going to tell you right now, put your money on Song and not Cejudo. There's your prediction. 1 foot cock, Simon Feck out predicts that Song will win. I mean, I just can't do it. Nothing flows. Nothing flows. Take 15. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean, where have you been, O'Malley? I'm Sean, where have I been, O'Malley? I've been gone from the internet for at least 4 days. Sean O'Malley, where have I been? I mean, again, I just can't do it. You can't force it. When you're having a bad day, you just can't force it. I mean, I just can't do it. I do this stuff in 1 take every time. In the last 3 or 4 months, I have done just a 1 take every time for the last 3 or 4 months. Everything's done in 1 take. I got 6 takes on this. UFC Seattle. Put your money on Song and not Cejudo. Simon Feck, 1 foot cock. You heard it here. UFC Seattle. You heard it here. Simon Feck, 1 foot cock. Put your money on Song and not Cejudo. You heard it here. Simon Feck, 1 foot cock. You know where you need to put your money for UFC Seattle? You need to put your money on Song and not Cejudo. Song is the man. 1 foot cock, Simon Feck here. It just won't flow, man. It just won't flow. I'm going to try. Is anybody watching out there? I'm going to try it 1 more time. This is unbelievable. Okay? How about this? Start over. I'm going to start with Whitney. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your rundown for UFC Seattle. Let's go over to Dana White right now. Dana White's standing by. Dana White, we know you're a busy man. Dana White, what do you think about this card that you put together with Song and Cejudo for the Seattle card? As usual, Dana White has nothing to say when he's gambling. Okay? Ladies ladies and gentlemen, UFC Seattle is going to turn out to be a burner. It's going to be one of the best cards this year in 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, showing you that it's round 5. We got, I forgot her name again. Why isn't it working? Like a little kid playing with toys. UFC Seattle. And then I forget everybody's name. Song Yadong. UFC Seattle, you have Song Yadong, you have Henry Cejudo. In the ring, refereeing, you have Andrew Glenn. Commentators, you have Joe Rogan, Jon Anik, DC, Mingle, Pamela Anderson, and over here, Mr. Gamblehead himself, Dana White. I mean, it just won't flow. UFC Seattle. We heard it from Miragliotta himself. He doesn't step into the ring, he steps on to the ring. You heard it. Miragliotta doesn't step into the ring. He steps onto the ring. And you heard it here, right here, Son of Feck, 1 foot cock. We just interviewed, before this fight, we just interviewed Miragliotta, who thinks somehow he's a ring announcer. But anyways, Miragliotta says he doesn't step into the cage. Miragliotta says he steps onto the cage, okay? Because he's a big lurch dude. Miragliotta looks like at any moment when he's refereeing a fight that he could just reach up and snatch an airplane out of the sky like he's King Kong or something. Miragliotta. Miragliotta is the only guy I know that can be roughing a fight in T-Mobile and at the same time reach up and clean the ceiling. Miragliotta is the only guy I know that can rough a fight and reach up and grab a satellite out of the sky. Matter of fact, Miragliotta is the only guy I know that can rough a fight and reach up and grab a drone out of the sky when we're fighting in New Jersey. Miragliotta, Mr. Welch himself. Now he was too lurchy for the Addams Family for the movie. He went in for the role, and they looked at him and said, "Hey, Miragliotta, you're too lurchy to be in the movie of the Addams Family." Can you believe that Miragliotta himself was too lurch to be in the Addams Family movie? And then right here, you have a commentator right here, Jon Anik. This guy right here looked at my car and just shaking his head. I was wondering why he's shaking his head. It's because I don't have Toyota tires. I mean, this guy takes his job literally. Okay? Anyways, hey, this is Jon Anik, and this is sponsored by Toyota Tires. Well, let me tell you something. You got DC over here. DC is a decent guy. Let me tell you. DC is a great dude. Okay? Dan Miragliotta is a great guy himself, too. But let me tell you something about Dan Miragliotta. If you ever invite him to go out and to eat pizza, he'll show up 3-4 hours early and then complain that nobody showed up. You know why? Because Dan Miragliotta is so dizzy walking around in that high elevation that he can't remember times when it's time to go get the pizza or not. Then he goes around telling everybody that nobody showed up. But Dan Miragliotta is a great guy. Andrew Glenn, the referee for the Song Yadong fight, is a great guy as well. Don't have much to say about Andrew Glenn. Pamela Anderson, one of the greatest ring girls to ever walk around the ring. But you know why you don't know that? Because nobody's invited Pamela Anderson to be a ring girl. Hey, Dana White, invite Pamela Anderson to be a ring girl. Hey, knucklehead, he's too busy gambling over there. That's what rich dudes do. Okay? Let's go around gambling. He doesn't know what to do with his money. He goes around losing money all the time. I mean, that's what he does with his money. He has so much money he doesn't know what to do with it, so he thinks he's going to win some money one day, but I doubt it. He's good at getting rid of it, though. Oh, yeah, and then Song's a great guy. Henry Cejudo, I hung around him a few times. Rested my drink on top of his head a few times. Cejudo's a nice guy. Song's a nice guy. So we went around, we just said everybody's nice, right? Yeah. Oh, and then we got Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan doesn't step into the common man's walkway, okay? Joe Rogan's treated like a king backstage, okay? You know when he's out there commentating, I mean, it's a normal thing. It's very common, right? But the media goes on for 3-4 hours after the fights are over. These three guys hang out there, and they do their talking and everything while people are getting shuffled out of the building. So they don't even have to talk to anybody because everybody's out of the building by the time they get done. But you'll see DC. DC will come around, you know. You'll see Big Dan Miragliotta after he gets done climbing the Empire State Building. You'll see him. You'll see Andrew Glenn. The fighters, they kind of get rushed out of the building. It's not their fault. Maybe it's just knucklehead Dana White's fault over here. Jon Anik, you'll see him. Pamela Anderson, you'll see her. I mean, if you act like you're having a party, she'll show up. I can tell you that. But this knucklehead, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. You never see this guy. He says he's a man of the people. Yeah, I talk to this guy in the streets. I talk to this guy in the streets. Listen, I hang out with a lot of famous people, man. A lot of famous people. Okay? And some big famous people, too. And they don't do the stuff this guy does. This guy, Joe Rogan, thinks his shit don't stink, okay? He doesn't hang around anybody like us normal people. This has got to be the worst segment I've ever done. Tonight's just not tonight. I'm gonna erase all this. Dan Miragliotta doesn't step into the ring. Dan Miragliotta steps onto the ring. You heard it here, Simon Feck, 1 foot cock. Dan Miragliotta doesn't step into the cage. Dan Miragliotta steps onto the cage. You heard it here, Simon Feck, 1 foot cock.